When you look at a map, do you ever just think, that border's weird? But have you ever thought about how accurate it is? Well, in this video, I'm going to list all 50 states by how accurate their borders are. But what do you mean accurate? That's completely up to interpretation. And you'd be 100% right. So what am I talking about? Well, a few years back, I saw this image on Reddit. Yes, I do shower. Thank you for asking. I already took my yearly one. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you can see what's going on. This line connects the northernmost and southernmost points, and this one connects the easternmost and westernmost points. And bada bing, bada boom, they intersect in the middle of Prague. That got me thinking, however, if instead you did this, and took that area, how accurate, see, I told you, how accurate would that be to the actual area? And right now I want you to guess which state will come out on top, because I doubt it's any you suspect. So, which state is most accurate? Wait, doesn't like every state have a straight line as a border? Well, except Hawaii. They don't got, islands. Bruh. Where would, say, the northernmost point of Colorado be? I guess you could just use the midpoint. But you could also say these are the extreme points and get a score of 100%. In fact, you could give Colorado any score you want. So screw this video, right? Now hold your horses. Watch this. Zoom in. Closer. Closer. Zoom back out. I don't know what that was. See? That doesn't look so straight, does it? That's what my friends told me. What? Right. Back when the borders were being made, the surveyors found themselves in the middle of nowhere. So surrounded by wilderness, they went to Google Earth, of course. And then they realized satellites wouldn't be invented for another 100 years. And they were still in the middle of nowhere. So what's meant to be a straight line ends up being bumpier than a Romanian highway. But what this means is there actually are distinct extreme points we can use. Let's begin. In last place is New Mexico, which really just got the short end of the stick. I mean, just poor New Mexico, man. Can we get a like and subscribe for New Mexico? Next is Hawaii, which is a bunch of islands, so yeah, no matter what, they weren't going to do great. And also, their territory extends all the way up to Kure Atoll. Kure Atoll? Kure Atoll? Kure Atoll, really. So yeah, that's why it extends so far, if you're wondering. South Dakota. Home of the South Dakotans and being south of Dakota. Their borders are kind of a better New Mexico, but a little more accurate.
What?
Like what am I even supposed to say, bro? What am I doing? Want to know what's south of South Dakota? It's South Dakota, also known as Nebraska.
Enrique!
They're polygon. What should I even call this thing? I'm gonna call it a box. No, I'll call it a boundary. That's it. Their boundary is more of a triangle, so it misses out on all this beautiful Nebraskan land. Louisiana's boundary is a little long, so it misses out on a lot of the state. And if you're saying, how's that possibly 40% of the state? I should probably point out I'm actually using the land area of the state, which is just the area of the state without all the water. I don't think I had to explain that, but I did. The reason I did this is because a lot of states' extreme points are just in the middle of a lake or ocean, which is a little boring, and you can't really even stand in these places. Well, I guess you could, but you get a little wet, and I think we can all agree that using land area is fair. That is, unless you're Canadian. Next is Big Ol' Alaska, which covers a lot of water because of those thingies sticking out, so the boundary is actually massive. What am I talking about? Alaska? Actually, doesn't Alaska cross the 180th meridian? So wouldn't it look like this? Yes, it would actually. Glad you pointed that out. But I don't really think this looks fair, so I'm not counting it. Still somehow places Alaska ahead of New Mexico, though. What now? North Dakota? Good old North Dakota, home of... Looks like the boundary is another triangle. So far we've seen mostly triangles and thin rectangles, so if your state's boundary looks like one of these, chances are it's not going to do very well. Next is the first state, Delaware. I think that might be the only fun fact the state has to offer, because a lot like North Dakota, like, what even goes on here? There's Joe Biden, I guess. Salmonella Academy. Their boundary is another thin rectangle. Like, Ohio finally crosses 50%, which means 7 states didn't even have half their state in their boundary. So congrats if your state's still going. Ohio, really? Ohio? Ohio's boundary nearly perfectly cuts the state in half. But the real question is, which side would win the hypothetical war? It's clearly red though, we can all agree on that, right? In 41st place is Kansas, another triangle I see. You know, I'm not sure if accuracy was the best title to give this video. I guess it's better than which state would have the most similar land area when compared to the border confined by their easternmost, westernmost, northernmost, and southernmost points in percentage. So I think accuracy is a fair enough title. Continuing in the Great Plains is Colorado, which despite what they may tell you, is still 40% plains. And we've also had Ohio and Delaware pretty low on the list too. So maybe it's all the corn producing states that do bad. Or maybe it's because they're all flipping rectangles. Just touching tips with Colorado's Arizona. And honestly, it's taking forever to get through these states, so let's speed it up a little. Iowa, I'm telling you, these corn states have something about them. Arkansas looks like we got another triangle. Utah here looking like a square pyramid. Oklahoma, their abbreviation might be okay, but their boundary certainly isn't. For 33rd and 34th place, there's actually a tie between Indiana and Wyoming. And I literally mean to the 100th place, and this is why I think this is so interesting, because think of one other similar things between these two states. Land. Who the hell said land? Okay, but seriously though, they got different industries, sizes, populations, geography? What other metric would put these states so close together? This is so dumb, you're literally the GOAT if you're still watching. I apologize for the audio, I'm literally recording a $12 5-year-old headset taped to my monitor. And I applaud you for making 6 minutes while hearing me. Next is Montana. And then Georgia. And then Illinois with a score of 6-7. Oh, look at this. You're not going to believe what score Washington has. It's 6-7. What just happened? Oh god, no. I think I awoke him. Hello? I think I'm fine. I just gotta be more careful next time. And now we reach Missouri. There's nothing of note here. I just wanted to trick you in thinking there was. You stupid! I'm just making up commentary here, like, I gotta say something, right? But, Missouri, yep. Maybe we should change the name because this video is giving me misery instead. Alabama, that's a quadrilateral, alright. Nevada, I feel like had some real potential, but their northernmost point is just far too east to do them any good. Other than that, they would have a nearly perfect score. 25th place, Connecticut, we're officially halfway done. And now the boundary has almost gone to 3/4 accuracy, so that's quite poggers. Surprisingly, Florida didn't actually do that bad, because a lot of the boundary area is in the water, which made up for all the land area that was missed. Which really just proves any state can do well, so if your state's still going, it's got just as much a chance as any other state. And slightly better than Florida is Pennsylvania, whose boundary just looks a little off to me. I know all these boundaries are just weird shapes, but this one just looks the strangest to me. Anyone else?
Smash.
Well, this idea has probably never been thought of in all of history, so I doubt it. What's new? It's Newkirk. I meant New York. Their boundary is actually one of the few that was bigger than the area of the state. But that's still just as bad, so 22nd place New York gets. Then there's Massachusetts. Or should I say Massachusetts, because they're not the most accurate. Maybe I should just retitle this thing Roasting Every State, because that's basically what this video has devolved into, clearly. California's boundary actually fits very neatly inside the state, without being much in another state or ocean. Kinda like Denmark and Michigan.
Huh?
Okay, what did I just say? Let me show you. Pretty neat, huh? There's a fun fact you can, unfact people with. With Kentucky, we've officially crossed 80%. So I think every state for now can be considered decent. And you can see these boundaries are looking a lot more accurate. After that is Mississippi, which also just barely crossed 80%. Similarly to Mississippi, West Virginia finally gets a chance to be in the top half of a statistic. Well, unless that statistic is the amount of country roads. Then they would be number 1.
Michigan!
Michigan. Then we have Idaho, home of... I don't know.
Adrian.
Be there or be square, they said. And Wisconsin took that personally. We're getting pretty close to the end now. Next is Minnesota with
87?
After that is Oregon, which is even more square than Wisconsin. Wait a minute. Is that Tennessee? Because it's the only 10 I see. Except it's not, because it's actually 11th place. And honestly, this might be the only recognizable silhouette. Because unlike other blobs, this one actually kind of resembles Tennessee. If you somehow stuck around, welcome to the top 10. Only the 10 most accurate states remain. In 10th place is Virginia. Also, fittingly, we crossed the 90% accuracy mark. They also have some great potential in my opinion. They move their southernmost point slightly east, but alas, they don't. In 9th place, New Jersey does quite nicely, but it's a small square state, so it's not actually very surprising they did so well. Rhode Island is next in 8th place, which extends pretty far into the ocean, but in this case it actually works out pretty well. 7th place, South Carolina, is probably the most visually appealing. It just fits so cleanly inside the state. But this video isn't about visuals, so, you know, if you guys want to see that video, let me know. Maryland is probably the state I thought would do worst, but somehow, here they are all the way in 6th place. And the boundary barely even overlaps the state, so they got incredibly lucky here. Starting the top 5, we have Vermont. A fair position, but unfortunately some land was lost in the southeast. And yes, I did record this in 4 different sessions, that's why it sounds so weird. North Carolina also does really well. The boundary overlaps surrounding states and cuts off others, which puts the state comfortably in 4th place. And now it is time to reveal the top 3. If your state is still going, consider these bragging rights. Receiving the bronze medal is Texas, which has some really good borders with this competition. The state is incredibly long as well as tall, and the state has a bunch of these nice ins and outs which perfectly even out, meaning Texas definitely deserves this 3rd place. The runners-up position will be taken by Maine. I was very glad to see my home state do so well when I was doing the research for this video. It's got some nice borders for the competition, but not the best. And that is because there can be only one number 1. And that one at number 1 is New Hampshire, which has the most accurate boundary in the United States at 98.6%. To end, here's a map of the entire country color-coded to match their place in the ranking. And if you made it this far into the video, you're probably a fan of random data, so I've compiled the result to see if anything interesting popped up. The average score overall was 68.8%, meaning Alabama was the most average. Interestingly, 3 out of the top 5 states were all in New England, and every New England state was in the top half of the list, which might have to do with the raw detail of all their borders. In fact, a lot of eastern states just did better in general. And if you're wondering about DC, they would place 14th, right in between Minnesota and Wisconsin. There's also this huge swath of western states that did not do so well. As I was saying earlier, there does seem to be some correlation between how square a state is and how well they do in this competition. That would also explain why Texas is such a massive outlier. I could keep going on about the interesting things about this map, but I'm going to cut it here, so you can always pause the video if you want to continue looking at it. Also, while I was compiling the data, I found that not a single state had 3 extreme points. There were some close calls, but no state had, say, their northernmost and westernmost points be at the same point. So, what was the point of this video? There was no point. I have no idea why I made this video. guess I'll see you guys in like 6 to 7 weeks and I bother to upload again. Oh no, I didn't mean it.